Hey guys, I think we are live. For those, if you're watching this late, then I would advise you to jump in about 5 minutes or so, because that's when we seem to get good enough engagement for us to move forward in a way that is beneficial to you, since I respect your time and I want to make this somewhat valuable. So I'm going to jump into some rapid fire Q&A on Quora. Well, it takes a bit of time to get people to come in. Somebody asks, how does... Yo, what up, guys? As you enter, just give it a like if you don't mind. We can hopefully get a good 10, 15 people here pretty quickly. But I'm going to go ahead and answer, how does modafinil feel when you take it? Not like what you'd expect. You're not limitless. You are processing everything a lot faster, and your ability to fight a mental fatigue is probably the best as far as what you can find in nootropics. You will find that with modafinil, you'll have less need for breaks. You're able to like efficiently task switch, like go from one activity to the next by going back and just going back and forth. And you're able to neglect activities outside of work. So it just makes you more energized, more driven. It's pretty cool stuff. But there's a video I've made called The Terrible Truth About Modafinil, where I talk about some of the side effects, and that should give you some insight. I'm on 1 month off of modafinil, and I started at June 28th. So what are we? No, sorry, excuse me, May 28th. Now we're June 16th. So I have about 12 days left, and then I can be using modafinil. But some cool product which I'm experimenting with right now is, there's so much hate for natural testosterone boosters. This, I think I got on like some crazy deal. That's why I have it. So I'm giving this a shot anyway. It's like 30 days, and it has all the ingredients which have some promise as far as boosting your natural T, vitamin D3, B6, magnesium, zinc, the-aspartic acid, tribulus, fenugreek, and DIM. I'll let you know how this thing goes. Not noticed much from it yet, but you typically wouldn't unless you're somebody with low testosterone. But for elder people, no, I'm not necessarily against natural testosterone boosters. If you're over like the age of 40, they can, you'll find them working because you'll get deeper sleep. And then a lot of people are asking about 5-HTP, which I'm not the most supportive of. Like, this thing is probably expired because I've had it for so long and I never use it. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think it is. Yeah, it is expired. June 2019. So I mentioned that I have it and I don't use it. If you're gonna ask me if expired nootropics are okay, it depends on them. Some people will say yes, some people no. I think for most of them it's okay. With powders, you just want to look at it, make sure it's, make sure that it doesn't look like it's different in any way. And then Racetam is something I want to talk about today. I took a few doses of this recently, and I've noticed I like how it is one Racetam where I actually do feel somewhat calm, whereas the other popular Racetams, you can say, I noticed they help with focus, they help with energy, they help with your general motivation, but nothing seems to like fight stress too significantly, with the exception of Racetam. Racetam, I wouldn't necessarily say it has promise in what a lot of people report it to do in boosting creativity, but calmness, focus, drive, it's good stuff. I like it. And I'm looking, and I'm appreciative of all of your comments. Guys, we have 9 people here. We want to get more people in because then we have some rapid fire Q&A. So give it a like if you don't mind. Give it a thumb up. And I'm going to hop on to questions. Farrell says, yo, Josh Williams says, thumb. I'm not going to count your thumbs, but I think I see 6, 12, 17 thumbs today. I don't know what I did to deserve that, but all the thumbs back to you. I appreciate it. Farrell says, should I stop taking lion's mane if I got a small rash from it? I lowered the dose and so far no rash. So yeah, that's a good point. Or just try splitting up the dose. So how are you taking it right now? Farrell, if you're somebody that's taking like one big dose right in the morning, then you can make the argument that you can lower the dose of that particular time, or you could just spread out that dose throughout the day. So more context would be helpful. And then I would otherwise just be curious to know what form of lion's mane you're using, because when I'm reading about side effects and bad experience with lion's mane, it's typically not with the 8-to-1, which is the one I like the 1-to-1 or the 8-to-1, but 8-to-1, the best. Kathy says, hi, I'm going to try lion's mane. I just received it. Wicked. Let me know how that goes. That's awesome. I know you're right, but says, hey, bro, I have genuine ADD and my doctor's acting like a bitch. Hey man, they have hard days. Take it easy on them. My my doctor's acting like a bitch. He won't give me an afternoon dose. What do you think is the closest feeling nootropic that has similar effects? What do you mean? Is he giving you something like short lasting in the morning? In terms of closest feeling that has similar effects, L-tyrosine and caffeine kind of work similarly in that you're focused, you're energized, you're not that distractible. They do give you the physical stimulating feel as well. Like the racetams, I mean, I could make other recommendations, but they're so variable between people that one could make the argument that if anything is going to work, it would probably be caffeine and L-tyrosine combined. Electric Horseman says, do you know anything about aloe vera gel? No, I don't, but you're welcome to tell me more about it, or if there's a particular question you have. Aloe vera, no, I don't know anything about that. I can't seem to get the benefits of Racetam. Nicholas says, what's the best dose range? And does it take a bit of getting used to? All the other basic Racetams pretty much always work for me. Nicholas, do you mean that the basic Racetams work in a way that you notice them very quickly, or how do you mean? And with Racetam, that's funny. That's funny, Kathy. Yeah, with dose range, the way I'm using it, and it's most commonly used, is 300 milligrams across 3 servings a day. I was talking to somebody. I had a live one-on-one with Sachin yesterday on my Patreon. And he helped me to discover that like the racetams are such that you notice them when you take them out of your stack. I can't really explain it, but like the adaptogens you kind of notice when you introduce them to your stack, but the racetams are such that it's, again, when you have your stack built and you take something out, like you take out primaracetam or you take out oxiracetam, then you'll know it's kind of working. I know it sounds kind of crazy. That's just what it is. Primaracetam, you take it for a long time and you have to be just very objective on it. We'll use this example. Right now we're in the middle of June. If you use primaracetam every single day, it's likely that if you have, again, some objective measure like number of hours worked, they'll probably be up day by day. If you go, you look at it 60 days from now and evaluate backwards. Because, yeah, they definitely do work. What's the best? So dose range, yeah, and getting used to it, 3 weeks. But I'd be curious to know what other racetams you're talking about when you're saying the other ones are working. I noticed the memory and focus, okay, almost like a brain foggy instead. Very cool. Wait, are you talking about with primaracetam? Buddy says, would you say primaracetam and oxiracetam work right away and are the best for studying? Work right away, yes to oxiracetam, no to primaracetam. Oxiracetam, it works best after you take it for a long period of time, but there's a lot of people that notice like a sudden, just acute, just feeling of being somewhat stimulated with oxiracetam. And I feel that too. I would say that it's not the best for studying because it will kind of, it gets you a bit driven. It may encourage you to study, but it's not going to do the things which you would want it to, like to help with your memory and your concentration for a very long period of time. Like I noticed that with Racetam, not only was my memory working better, but just having, good study sessions, 2 or 3 hours break, 2 or 3 hours, keeping it consistent. It was, really easy, or easier. Farrell says, I love L-tyrosine. I feel nice and soft on it. What does that mean, soft? I know what you mean. I think I know what you mean. Oxiracetam, phenylpiracetam, and aniracetam are great for me. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Nicholas, be curious to know how you respond to piracetam. What's the best nootropic for studying if you had to pick one? I don't know if you call it a nootropic, and people may not like this answer, but the answer is in Benjamin Franklin's comment over there, Vyvanse. No, my best experience was with Concerta. Again, you're not supposed to be taking this stuff. You have to talk to your GP. But when I was taking it to study, like game changer. I mean, your grades are they will go up like that. It's almost like a no-brainer. But no, in terms of keeping things naturally occurring, keeping things safe, Piracetam, a good choline source. Primaracetam, probably good too. Aniracetam, oxiracetam, probably not that helpful. Rhodiola rosea a couple times a day. And healthy diet, fish oil, use naps. And we could talk about a lot of nootropic things which could be more helpful. But hope you found that helpful, mate. PQ, do you know anything about? Okay, have you ever tried Vyvanse? Yes, Vyvanse. Benjamin Franklin. I have tried Vyvanse, and I liked Concerta more. I like that Vyvanse, yes, it does seem to last longer through whatever extended release mechanism. But with Vyvanse, it was very strange. It's like the stuff dehydrates you. You have to drink a lot of water. And I talked about this before, but like with Vyvanse, there was a time when I took it and like I was pretty toned at the time. Not as like I'm somewhat toned now. I don't consider myself like that toned. I feel kind of fluffy. With Vyvanse, the day after I took Vyvanse, I could never understand this, but my whole body just looked so dehydrated. Like all my cuts, like my abs, everything just looked ripped. And it was scary, man. It was like almost like taking a shot of alcohol sometimes, where it just dehydrates you, it just dries you out. Yeah, that scared me, man. So Vyvanse, could drop your weight like that. Didn't like it, and question, the severity to which. I'm just looking at comments. Deborah, hey, what up? So yeah, with Vyvanse, I've tried it. Great for studying. It's nice that it lasts longer term, and it's not as stimulating as Concerta is. Concerta, it just makes you like euphoric, high, energized. It's weird. Racetam has never given me any noticeable effects. Perhaps I should give it another go. Nicholas, yeah, it's something which takes a bit of time to notice working. I mean, it took maybe 3 months or 2 or 3 cycles for me to notice that anything was working. But more useful if you're studying. Do you know anything about vinpocetine? Yes, PQ. As a matter of fact, I do. What's the question, though? Also, I've been experimenting with Racetam, and its taste is comparable to chewing on a battery. I thought you were over-exaggerating. You were clearly not. That is Mike, the nootropic reviewer, and I will never exaggerate, or I never plan to, because that is what's so... I warn you guys, don't buy Racetam in the powdered form. It is one of the worst-tasting nootropics. Tribulus is worse. Rhodiola isn't as bad. Somebody said to me yesterday that Rhodiola was bad. I was like, what? You haven't tried enough. You haven't tried enough things if you think that Rhodiola tastes that bad. Deborah, a woman's touch. Deborah, good to see you on here. Do you find that doctors are somewhat resistant on prescribing modafinil when you request it for fatigue and shift work? And can it be covered for people who are on disability, Michael? So expensive. Well, I'm not sure what the healthcare rules are in your end. So I'm not sure. Yes, they will be somewhat resistant. It's been my experience that the longer the doctor has been in the business or been a doctor, the easier they seem to be with prescriptions, because newer doctors, they don't generally want to give things out just out of the fear of that. If they don't have a lot of people taking the med, then they seem to shy away from it. Like my doc was more comfortable prescribing Adderall than they were modafinil, because Adderall was something that they had a lot of patients taking. So the last thing they want is them to be liable if anything does go wrong. So, I mean, I don't really understand the question. More resistant. Do you mean versus? I mean, provided that you go to them and you approach them, and they have the feeling that you've done your homework, then it should be okay. What they don't want to give it to is give it to people that seem somewhat uninformed. Chanel Dougal, guys, looks like my sister's here, so say hi. I don't know if she's still here. Maybe she just came here to support me, even though it's only supportive if she gives me a thumb up, so you better have given me a thumb up. She asks, are there any side effects when taking nootropics? Firstly, you spelled effects wrong. I'm disappointed. But with taking nootropics, side effects depends on what they are. Stimulants specifically, they can cause like problems with your blood pressure. They can cause you to feel uncomfortable heartbeats. More so just that a lot of nootropics that we discuss on the channel are somewhat new, and there's not that much studies being done on them. Particularly like the racetams I get a bit concerned about in terms of the racetams. Again, are they safe to take long term? I've been taking a lot of them for 6-7 years. I haven't noticed anything bad yet, but I have, of course, that concern that way. Negative side effects, I mean, they're expensive. Again, we don't have all the science for them. And some of them, they will build a bit of a tolerance to. So you can make the argument that when you're taking something for a long period of time and then you come off of it, it may decrease your baseline. But again, all of this is theory. And hi, how are you? I'm fantastic. But Benjamin says, and it's for weight loss. Are you talking about the Vyvanse? If you're using Vyvanse for weight loss, it's great in that it's a very strong appetite suppressant. Water, water, water. Yes, I agree. Water, water, water. Drink some water. And that's a nice emoticon you got there with the water. I've never seen that before. Electric Horseman says, in my right ear, I can hear a heartbeat, no pain. My left is okay. I've been to a doctor and still the same. Is there anything I could take? I heard of ginkgo and maybe vitamin 12B may help. In your right ear, you can hear a heartbeat, no pain. My left ear, don't really understand because it doesn't sound like there's any pain. Is the problem that you're hearing things on one side, or what is the problem? Lordy Zen. I love this question, guys. This is the question of the stream so far. Lordy Zen's question. What's a good nootropic to take? Okay, what's a good nootropic to talk to extended family members after a long time? I love it. The answer is no stimulants, so stay away from caffeine because you will just want to talk over them. You won't be a good listener. If it goes to get on the good side, then you want to be present, you want to be calm. So something like a mix of ashwagandha and lion's mane and bacopa. Ashwagandha KSM 66, 300 milligrams. Lion's mane, same, and bacopa, you can say same, and go talk to your extended family members, and they will enjoy the conversation. They will be looking forward to seeing you next time. Which Racetam is most effective and why? If you were to include phenylpiracetam, it would be phenylpiracetam. Phenylpiracetam, I've made a video on it before. I'll put a link to the video. Phenylpiracetam, it's a physical and mental stimulant. I like to honestly compare it to modafinil because it will really energize you. It'll help you from all areas of your cognition. You in essence just feel this almost like a healthy stimulation. Whereas with caffeine, you feel like the peak, then you feel the drop. Whereas with phenylpiracetam, it kind of lasts the whole day. It takes maybe about a couple hours or so for it to start working. Best taken in a form, in my opinion, like powdered form. I only like taking maybe 100 milligrams on average. So what's so with it is it will pretty much help you in any type of work. Reading, yes. Work behind the desk, yes. Social, that's when it's best because your anxiety really drops. And what else? Physical, that's where it makes it. That's why it's very neat. Just in terms of body composition, if you're using nootropics and on the side as a side benefit of taking nootropics, you also want a better body composition. Phenylpiracetam is a great nootropic that way. So most effective, definitely. And when I say effective, you can tell the stuff is working. It's not like the other racetams. The other racetams, they'll take a few weeks typically for you to start noticing anything. And guys, I really feel bad that there's not much information out there about the racetams because I went through the same problem and I had to just keep testing and trying. For business analytics, wow, is this like a Racetam dedicated live stream? Anyway, it's great. Buddy Ramirez, for business analytics course, which Racetam would you say is the best? Can you just elaborate a little bit more? For business analytic course, which Racetam would you say is the best? I mean, firstly, we're assuming you're not making the course. We're assuming that you're listening to the course and you're trying to retain all the information and implement it. I would say probably piracetam and oxiracetam together. They make for pretty good. Oxiracetam is good for implementation, and piracetam I find is pretty effective with just learning retention, memory, overall everything. And because it's analytics, that's why maybe aniracetam wouldn't be the best thing. Guys, if you all don't mind, we want to get more people on this. If you can just give it a like, and it will help the algorithm. I appreciate that. Bad taste. VSJ says bad taste in mouth and bloating all day due to periodic intake of supplements. What to do? VSJ, I strongly disagree with that. I don't think you should feel any bloating from the supplements. Bad taste in your mouth. One option is to brush your teeth frequently. Other thing is start taking it in capsules if the taste bothers you that much. Fallon's Fox or anyone else, if you have any suggestions for them, then you're welcome to chime in. But I take some pretty bad tasting nootropics throughout the day, and I don't have the bad taste in my mouth. The only I would say the worst tasting thing, which I'm taking in powder form right now, is green tea extract. I really like green tea extract as a good antioxidant. It seems to like just refresh your mind when you take it in the middle of the day. So green tea extract, I highly recommend it. But the powder form is one of those things which takes a bit of time to get out of your mouth for sure. Which Racetam is Racetam the safest Racetam to take long term? Good question. I would argue yes, because it's the one nootropic that has been studied pretty much like for the longest amount of time and has the most studies behind it. Like like creatine, you can say it is the creatine of supplements, to which Racetam is of the racetams. Have you tried Cognizine Cetocholine from Nootropics Depot? Yes, I did try it a while ago. I liked it. Maybe something, but again, as you all know, I like alpha GPC more. Maybe somebody already asked the question, but what is the best non-prescription drug for studying / work? And I'm answering the question from Kashikura. I like the name Kashikura. For studying / work, I mean, studying and work is very different. So I will answer the question specifically for studying first, assuming it's like reading. Racetam is really good with the choline source. I like alpha GPC, something like 800 milligrams of Racetam to 1 gram of Racetam with 200 milligrams of alpha GPC 3 times a day makes for a really good stack for studying. And use rhodiola and bacopa a couple times a day because they will help you to fight fatigue, and then bacopa will help you with your memory. And when it comes to work, yeah, I need more context there. It's a question which doesn't really give me too much to work with. Tokera says, did you get all the vids back? Not yet, just a matter of time. YouTube email me back saying that things should be good in the next few days. So we'll see. But I appreciate you looking out for me. And I'm sorry for all you guys who keep messaging me saying that your channel sucks now, or your channel's kind of dry, or your channel doesn't have any videos. Just, yeah, be patient with me. I'll be patient with you. Nicholas says, we love racetams. Yeah. Me too. Yeah, racetams, guys, if you want to talk about like making money, I was talking about this with somebody. It's like the racetams will get you to the place where you make the amount of money to which you're satisfied, and then you find the adaptogens to make you enjoy the work a little bit more. The adaptogens, I don't see how you can really throw that to your stack and use a lot of adaptogens and expect to like double your income or anything crazy, like if you're in sales. But the racetams will do that, whereas the adaptogens, they will help you, again, peace of mind, calmness, general well-being, right? Opinions on L-theanine. I really like it. Helps to mitigate the bad effects you get from caffeine. L-theanine, it'll help to make the caffeine kind of like more, almost like subtle. You'll likely not feel the anxiety from it. I will admit, though, there's a lot of times when I don't like caffeine and L-theanine, or L-theanine in general. Like, I don't always like L-theanine when I'm fasted, because the L-theanine is so strong that it almost like I'm so calm and I'm so present that I don't even know what to concentrate on. You're so aware of your thoughts. It's unproductive to some extent. You can be a little bit in your own head, not overthinking, but just in your own head. Like, wow, I don't know what to do. Let me know if I'm crazy or you've had that experience too, but it's a real thing. Electric Horseman, in my right ear, I can hear a heartbeat. I don't know if there's anything I can take to get rid of the heartbeat that I'm hearing. I still can normal out of it and no pain. Electric Horseman, just give it some time. Maybe you sleep it off. If this is something that's been happening for a long time, then I'm not a doctor. I would suggest that you go see them. What are good, Farrell says, what are good nootropics for working outside, pushing carts all day, and interacting with customers occasionally? Phenylprastam for sure, because phenylprastam, as I mentioned, it's the one nootropic that acts like as a physical good stimulating agent for a long period of time. That's what it does, different than modafinil, and it also does just reduce your anxiety significantly. It's quite powerful that way. So Pharrell, that is not like a maybe, that is 100%, it's phenylprastam for me anyway. Buddy says phenylprastam and L-theanine. Would you say that's a decent combination? Buddy, that's a really good question. In theory, yes, because phenylprastam is often like too stimulating for a lot of people, to the point that they need something that can help them just like slow them down a bit, slow down their thinking, so they can be objective, they can stay on track with their priorities or make plans and stuff. What I noticed with L-theanine though is you need to take it frequently. So phenylpiracetam is something which you would take like once in the morning for the whole day, whereas L-theanine, if you were to like use those practically, you would need to take L-theanine throughout the course of the day. Decent combination. It's not as great as it sounds. Modafinil and L-theanine I like more. Fallon's Fox says, I can't say anything. Fallon's Fox says, I really can't say anything bad tasting nootropics. They don't tend to bother me, and I've never noticed any bloating from supplements. Thank you. Yeah, I'd respond the same way. Fallon's Fox, I sometimes look back at all the money I've spent on nootropics and cry. I don't know why you feel that way, Fallon's Fox. Fallon's Fox, the way you did, and then I took time off of nootropics and introduced them and just went through that cycle a few times. And if anything, just look back on all the time you've wasted or all the days or hours you've been unproductively and cry instead. And then you'll more likely be appreciative of the money you've spent on nootropics. PQ, I was looking for your knowledge behind vinpocetine. What do you think of it? Or what do you think it's good for? Have you noticed, experimented with it? What did you notice? What would you recommend it? When would you use it? PQ, I've not had a good experience with vinpocetine. Not that it was a bad experience, but I noticed nothing. I used it initially about a decade ago when I was studying. I used it with caffeine, and I, again and again and again, convinced myself that it was working and I had to keep on using it. But no, the stuff does nothing for it. Didn't do nothing for me. And on my Patreon, I've linked a graph where you can see like the likelihood of things working. They surveyed hundreds of people, and they put together charts where it showed the likeliness of a nootropic being effective. And it was like vinpocetine had maybe like 5% of users noticed it was effective. So I would say thumbs down to vinpocetine. Not that you would notice anything like bad, but what it's going to help with, similar to like a choline source, there's some studies suggesting that it can help you with your memory, but practically all of the studies show me otherwise. I'm open to being wrong. Most of the studies anyway show that vinpocetine worked somewhat with people with Alzheimer's or some sort of cognitive impairment issue problem. Fallon's Fox, why do you spell amazing like that? Amazon. Fallon's Fox, I get amazing results from the racetams, but I always end up in a cholinergic depression. Any advice on how I can get the benefits of the racetams while avoid getting depressed? Yeah, the answer, Fallon's Fox, is just to cycle them. With the racetams, you have to just be mindful of that, and you have to put it in your schedule, man. Like the different racetams require different dosing schedules. So with oxyracetam, that's something which I think people need to cycle off of more often, like 3 weeks on, 1 week off, because if not, you're going to build a tolerance. It's going to stop working. So that would be my advice. But Fallon's Fox, you've also said things like you thought you were depressed and then you end up weren't. So we'll see how that goes. B1OUIN says, first time taking L-theanine without caffeine, and I definitely agree with you. I'm too relaxed and I'm in my head and can't get anything done, so I'm watching this. Nice. So you taking L-theanine perhaps put you in a trance to watch this live stream. Well, I thank L-theanine for that. Yeah, that's just what it is. And sometimes I would encourage you. I notice it more when I'm fasting, like the L-theanine's just effect on making me a bit too relaxed. So for that reason, L-theanine is something which I'm using with caffeine on times when I'm not fasting, or just there's nothing wrong with just using caffeine right by itself, because I like the intensity uplift that it has. Basically, like you can get that intensity, that mood uplift very quickly without L-theanine, but when you use L-theanine, it's not kind of as strong in terms of like your mood enhancing effect. Thanks. Is it wise to take a multivitamin with nootropics? Cupcakes, yum, if you mean at the same time or you mean in general. Not sure what you mean, but yeah, if you mean in general, like in the same day, yeah, I'm all for take multivitamin with your nootropics, because when we talk about nootropics, we're usually not talking about micronutrients like vitamin D, vitamin B, zinc, magnesium, calcium, the list goes on. These are all things which you would get in your multivitamins. So yeah, I'm all for multivitamins. Typically the ones which are really good are multivitamins which have like more than one capsule. Sorry, this is 5-HTP, but I'm just giving you an example. Like if there's if there's like 3 or 4 capsules in a serving, then you typically know it's a good multivitamin. By the way, for those of you that didn't hop on, this is 5-HTP. Mood mood booster. This is the Jamieson brand, which is pretty popular here in Canada. Not the best brand, excuse me. This is 100 milligrams, but the stuff's even effective at 50 milligrams. I don't use this very often. I don't know why the old video I made on 5-HTP is so popular. Guys, all I have now is like old videos, so I'm seeing what people are clicking, and I don't know why that video did well. Because 5-HTP, I've had this around for so long, and I don't use it, that the stuff is actually expired. It says, it says, don't know if that's showing up. June 2009, what was it? Yeah, June 2019. And then I'm taking this just because I have it and I got it on sale. This is Evolution Nutrition Test. So it's like a testosterone boosting product. We'll see how it goes. Haven't noticed anything from it yet. What's it got? Vitamin D3, B6, magnesium, zinc, D-aspartic acid, tribulus, fenugreek, and DIM. See how this goes. It's not that effective so far, but I mean, I didn't have really high expectations of it. And next question. I find it, Tolkera says, I find it strange YouTube took the videos down when there's other channels like Cortex talking about newts also. Yeah, Tolkera, his channel has been removed in the past too. So it's just a question of getting it down, getting it back. It's nootropics, you know, it's a gray area, unfortunately. And I feel anyone who's trying to sell newts or anything, I feel bad because some of the challenges that they have to go through are pretty damn difficult. But yeah, his channel has been removed before, so it's just a process. My channel may get removed too, but best believe I will be back, or I'll be back on another platform. Haid Klum says, instead of taking Racetam and alpha GPC, would you ever take Racetam instead? Haid, the answer is yes. That's actually what I do. Today I took Racetam, alpha GPC, and Racetam together. Founds Fox says, LOL, I was kidding about crying, but yeah, you're right. I'm much more productive when taking nootropics, and I can feel them helping me grow as a person. Yeah, that's totally true. Even with the Racetams, I noticed, even on times when things aren't going that well with respect to like one area of your life, maybe like your job, your income, you just naturally can feel the Racetams are helping you in some sort of ways. And guys, that's a big thing. Like some of my worst income years were followed by a like double in income afterwards. So it's kind of like, if anything, with the Racetams, if things aren't working, and one step back, 2 steps forward, it'll help you, if anything, to learn from your mistakes, right? Just what they'll really help you at the end of the day is just embrace that life as a playground. Don't take things too seriously and just keep moving forward, you know? Ben says, what was that video about? What was that video about Nootropic depot? I got a notification, uploaded it. It was a live stream, Ben. At the same time. Yeah, Cupcakes, yeah, if you're asking about taking a multivitamin and nootropics at the same time, nothing wrong with that. Tokera says, I consider vitamin B a nootropic. Me too. You know, after being off of a pre-workout, which was loaded in vitamin B, and then reintroducing it to my stack, I'm just finding like vitamin B for energy is so crucial. Even though these pre-workout products have like, you know, super high doses, even this, I mean, this says, I don't know if you can see this, even this has vitamin B6 of 647% of daily value at 11 milligrams. You feel energy throughout the whole day. So I agree with you 100% that it is a nootropic. Farrell says, should I take phenylprastam with alpha GPC like you would take it with regular Prastam? With phenylprastam, the big distinction is phenylprastam you would just take like once. That's how most users do it, including myself, once, like first thing in the morning or a couple hours there afterwards. And alpha GPC, you would use it 2 to 3 times during the day, whereas Prastam, it's not just for a 1 serving per day. It's to be taken with your alpha GPC, so 2 to 3 times a day. And I appreciate you guys giving this more likes. Don't mind, guys, if you guys just hop on, just give it a like, help the algorithm. Lori says, I just took KSM 66, Bacopa extract, and lion's mane, and I feel much more relaxed. Oh my gosh. Guys, I gave a stack like that to one of my friends, and they said they felt like they were on drugs. So I know what you mean. You feel present. You're able to connect with people. You're not impatient. You just feel like an overall better mood. It's a really nice feeling. I know what you mean. Reese says, do you believe in maca? Has it worked for you? Yeah, maca's good. It's not amazing. I think it's kind of overrated, but it's good. Nothing wrong with it. Anonymous says, I've taken Prozac, Paxil, Adderall, smoked lots of marijuana, and I still feel cognitively impaired after a few years. I'm no longer as sharp as I used to be pre-Adderall. I have trouble remembering things. Learning takes a lot longer. Understanding concepts is a lot harder. Energy levels are sometimes low. I would love to talk to you one-on-one on Patreon about this, as I have somebody else actually going through the same thing, or just even on my YouTube comments. You don't have to pay, but I'm really passionate about helping people through kind of things that you're going through, because I know that's not easy when you're on something as strong as like Adderall for a very long time. I don't have and the answer maybe you were working for, because what's so is that you've been stimulated for such a long time that you've built this tolerance to be used to taking all these stimulants. So naturally, being off of them, you're going to feel somewhat down. You're going to feel somewhat wanting to be socially isolated. So in terms of if you're not drinking coffee, it's something which you can just play around with. L-tyrosine and rhodiola rosea may help you to somewhat like reset. There's some evidence showing that L-tyrosine, when taken for a long period of time, can help you do that. And vitamin B6, make sure you have a good healthy diet. Jason on Earth says, I still think that choline, energy levels are sometimes low. I need 9.5 to 11 hours of sleep. Yeah, okay, cool. Jason says, I think choline bitartrate works, but I read that it doesn't. But years ago, I noticed it helped me with headaches. Does it work at all, or is it just a placebo? Jason on Earth, it is not a placebo. So good on you for noticing that it's working. And that's impressive, because I read a lot about people, again, not liking bitartrate, including myself. But that is the promise with bitartrate, that especially if you're using like Racetams or Nootropics, that it's supposed to help with headaches. So although you're reading that it doesn't help, that's unfortunately the world of nootropics. Some things may work for others, and some things may work for others, right? I read that Edge Effect by Eric Braverman and tried citicoline, Alcar, and L-dopa, but literally nothing is work. Even B supplements make my performance worse. Any thoughts? Check out the racetams, like we've been talking about. There's a lot of information right here on the racetams, so hope you got something helpful out of that. Intramax 2.0 by Ducker Labs. Do you want like a product review, or why are you mentioning that in the comment? Let me know. How much Mucana to take per day do you need to cycle off? Haven't used it yet, although I have not forgot. Lordy Zen, yes, it is true. Oh, you know what? I just missed a comment. I'm going to go there. Hyde Klum, opinions on marijuana. Don't know what else to say, but I don't use it. I'm not really against it, but does it help with creativity and help with things that people say it does? What I do find, as far as like nootropic use, I read a lot, and I hear about experiences where it actually does help people, more so when they're using stimulants like Adderall, Concerta. A lot of people are able to just wind down or even go to sleep with the help of something like that. So that is where it does have a good use. But overall opinion is pretty much thumb down. Lordy Zen, is it true that NAC helps with addictions? Yes. OCD-like behavior, addicted behaviors, even bad patterns of thinking, it's what's so. Fallon's Fox says, I filed my tax returns in April and I still haven't gotten my money. Any nootropic to get the IRS to pay up? Yeah, take some caffeine and L-tyrosine and make some calls, or if anything, then take some Racetam, and it will just allow you to have the endurance to call them, wait in line for however long you need to wait, and then in essence, you will have somebody on the phone, and that is the right way. But I don't know how the IRS works, because I'm here in Canada, right, where we have this, we call it the CRA. What is the best Racetam for verbal fluency, especially when trying to present specific information to an audience? In this order, they would be Racetam, Racetam, and oxyracetam. But when you use all three together, they're really good stuff. Yeah, and Fallon's Fox just answered the same thing, so I appreciate that. I felt depressed for a whole year after quitting Kratom until I started taking the Racetam. Wow. And that is why I don't use Kratom. Have you tried stacking phenylprastam and Noopept? All the time. All the time. Yeah, last week, excuse me. I did that, I did that a few times last week. How that worked was 100 milligrams of phenylprastam first thing in the morning. Pre-workout, I took like a big dose. I took like maybe 30 milligrams of Noopept. had my workout, and then I took another 20 milligrams later on in the day. So just 2 servings. But Nupep, I mean, I don't even think that you need it, because Nupep, I can barely like even observe this stuff is working when I'm taking phenylpiracetam. Let me know if you feel otherwise. Recenter, uridine monophosphate plus CDP choline. What can you tell us about these together? You know, it's almost kind of similar to combining alpha GPC and CDP choline, but alpha GPC is more beneficial, like physically. What can I tell you about them together? You're just less likely to have brain fog. You'll go through the whole day being able to fight fatigue better than normal. You'll have less of a need for breaks. You'll feel somewhat clear-minded. You'll feel, you know, that feeling after you work a long day and you will just feel exhausted? You're less likely to feel that way if you're using both those together. Instead of caffeine, is theacrine a good alternative? Michael Van Nostrand is instead of caffeine, is theacrine a good alternative? I wouldn't say so. It's if you've never been exposed to stimulants before and you find caffeine too stimulating, then yes. But I don't like that theacrine doesn't really provide that mood boost, that feeling of overconfidence that caffeine does. Where it just helps theacrine is it helps you just speed things up in the way that caffeine would. So if you're somebody that, for example, like most people can notice that they will like write a lot faster or read faster when they're on caffeine. So for that use practically, then theacrine is a good alternative. But for all the other things I like caffeine for, theacrine isn't good. Like caffeine helps me so much pre-workout to get in a good workout, whether it's cardio or weights. I just go after it. I enjoy it. I'm willing to take on as much pain possible. Mood, like as far as its ability to boost your mood, as far as its ability to decrease any anxiety and give you a sense of like courage and yeah, really willing to get out of your comfort zone. I don't feel that way with theacrine. So I think theacrine is kind of overrated. I could be wrong, and I'm open for you. I'm open to you guys telling me that I'm just talking nonsense. But it's kind of like how I say N-acetyl L-tyrosine is an overhyped version of L-tyrosine. Theacrine is kind of the overhyped version of caffeine. Highly recommended that multivitamin. Curious to know what you think. Oh, the Intramax. Okay, I'm going to look at Intramax right now because I did pull it up for you. So Intramax, it's a multivitamin. What does it have? Vitamin A, C, D. Doesn't have that much vitamin D, but it's good. E, K doesn't have vitamin. Oh, it does. Niacin, vitamin B6, folate, B12, biotin, calcium, iron, iodine, magnesium, zinc, selenium, manganese, chromium, potassium. Yeah, it looks good. And then it even has some, yeah, oh wow, this is really extensive. It looks like a pretty good overall multivitamin. So yeah, like, does it get better than this? Maybe, but this pretty much is one of the better, it fits that category of better multivitamins. And for those of you who don't know, he's talking about a product called Drucker's, what is it? Drucker's Lab. Drucker's Lab Intramax 2.0. But what I don't like about this is that they've added sugar. I don't know if that's a naturally added sugar, but I don't think that it's necessary for them to do that. Or maybe it's just that they added fruits and oils. I mean, there clearly can't be that much healthy oil and fish oil there if there's only 1 gram, there's no grams of fat. Yeah, there's something not transparent on that label. But anyway, I'm going to move on. Can you share where to begin with the racetams? James, yeah, that's a great question. Where I can share where I started. I started off with piracetam and a choline source, and because I was studying like 14 hours a day at the time, it was clear that stuff was working after a few months. And then, James, it really depends what kind of work you're engaged in. But most people, I think they go on the cycle of like piracetam first, then aniracetam, then oxiracetam, and then pramiracetam. There's the other ones as well, like fasiracetam, like coliracetam, which I have over here. But they're overall just less popular, less likely to work, in my opinion. And when you're using them, James, watch one of my videos on the racetams where I talk about the dosage, because you need to take it with the choline source. Hola, Diego. Hola. I need you to translate your Spanish messages in English, though, because my Spanish is lacking. Have you noticed cognitive benefits from creatine? There's some good research on it for learning/memory. Ryan, yes. Where it shows, if you look at like the research, where it looks like it has the most promise is for fighting sleep deprivation. And yes, I'm a believer in it, but specifically I'm a believer that if you're going to use creatine, again, just personal opinion, if you're going to use creatine for its nootropic properties, then you're better off getting like a creatine blend. Like that's where I've noticed the best kind of benefits was not only like monohydrate, but different forms too. You know, like buffered creatine, like creatine, what's it called? Gluconate. So there's different creatine blends out there, and you'll likely feel that just a little bit more energy. But overall, creatine for nootropics, it's overrated. For all, can I talk to you one-on-one when you're on with the live stream? I would pay you $1. Are you on my Patreon? If you are, then just message me there, and you don't have to pay anything. I can make some time for you. Maybe not now, but maybe some other time. Has anyone had some success taking sensory ashwagandha? Don't know if anyone answered you, but I've tried that brand. I actually did like it. I didn't like it as much as the KSM 66 ashwagandha, but it's good stuff. Yeah. Best nootropic for increasing motivation, aka something to just sit down and start said task. Assuming that you've already tried caffeine and stuff, L-tyrosine is good. Racetam is really good too. Esto me serve para mejorar al cash. And I'm going to do you a favor and translate it Spanish to English. If nobody else did that for me, come on, you guys are supposed to help me out. Let's see what Diego is asking over here. Translating. Does this help me improve the clash? I forget things. Improve the what? I think you made a typo. Sorry, buddy. I tried to translate, but you're gonna have to type out that question in English, or if somebody wants to do it for him. Hola, Fallon's Fox. Yes, it's very good for anxiety. How long can you take the racetams daily before developing a tolerance to them? And wouldn't prolonged daily use be detrimental to health? I mean, prolonged daily use, it likely would be detrimental to health. Hasn't been my experience. I've been using the racetams for a very long time. Guys, give it a like if you already haven't. It helps the algorithm just to get this thing out there, since I have no videos to help my channel grow anymore. We're just depending on this live stream. So I appreciate your thumbs. So how long can you take the racetams before developing a tolerance for them? And would with respect to your first question, the answer is depends on the racetam. With oxiracetam, you need to cycle it off more frequently, and with phenylpiracetam, like don't even take it 2 days consecutively. If anything, like 2 or 3 times a week max, in my opinion. Piracetam you can get away with cycling off of it less. And would prolonged daily use be detrimental to health? I'm the wrong person to ask. Again, I've been using them for years and nothing bad has happened to me. I feel so strange saying this, but like, guys, again, I was talking to a Patreon one-on-one through a Skype call yesterday, and he's like, don't you worry about these side effects? I haven't had, or he's like, he asked me, what's your worst experience with nootropics? Maybe it's just me. I've not really had any like bad experience. And there's been times when I've taken too much of things. Like, I've done crazy things like taking 30 grams of fish oil at once, taking maybe 90 milligrams of Noopep at once. I don't know. I'm not that concerned. Call me crazy, but somebody has to be crazy so they can educate other people. So I will happily take the title of being the crazy one. But that being said, I will never buy powdered stimulants. I think the fact that companies sell like powdered caffeine, powdered DMA, powdered what is it, theacrine, I think that's crazy. So you can call me risky, but yeah, please don't go ahead and buy powders like that, because you take 1 extra teaspoon and that could be it. Jason on Earth says, thanks. I feel confident knowing using my old choline bitartrate. I know alpha GPC, acetylcholine, SP may be beneficial, but I have so much bitartrate that I don't want to not use it. Yeah, Jason on Earth, I don't mean to burst your bubble, but choline bitartrate is so cheap that supplement companies, they used to just sell it, like give it for free. Like when you bought any of their nootropics, they would just give it to you. So it's not like it has an expiry date. If you're wondering what acetylcholine and alpha GPC can do for you, then I'd be curious too, because if you respond that well to choline bitartrate, then likely they will help you even more. But it's common. I remember there were a few times in the past where I used choline bitartrate and it lifted a little bit of brain fog, just gave me a bit of like mental energy. But it could just be such that you're fasting, or it could just be such that you're not eating a lot of choline-rich food, so you really need that choline. Prashant Kumar Singh, man, what a hard question. Man, why am I getting cursed with these questions? How much caffeine pills can be taken in a week to avoid tolerance? I don't know. It depends how you define tolerance. I mean, I'm taking 300 milligrams of caffeine a day, at least 300 to 400 milligrams each day. I build like a little bit of a tolerance, but they're still working as I want them to, pretty much. Did you check out Icarin? What do you think about it? No, I apologize if you asked me to before. Icarin, just refresh your memory if you don't mind. Icarin, what is it? Oh, it's the test booster thing. No, I haven't checked it out, but I remember you telling me about it. Where online do you guys purchase your nootropics? Okay, I'll ignore that. Yerba mate feels smooth but strong like feels smooth but not strong like coffee. Yeah, that's what it is, Tolkera. It's kind of like the middle ground between like a tea, like a caffeinated tea, and coffee, somewhere in the middle, so you know what to expect. And Fallon's Fox gave away some good links to places where you can get nootropics. Nootropics Depot, Science Bio, and Lift Mode. Appreciate that. I've heard a lot about uridine and CDP can grow dopamine receptors in D1 and D2, especially in parts of the brain where there are fewer. Opinions on this? No, they're kind of overrated for that. I don't really think that's true with respect to CDP choline. If anything can do that, it won't be those. You can play with things which may naturally just raise your dopamine, but in terms of like growing your dopamine receptors, I think the whole concept is not really true that you can do through supplements, and it's that simple. It's nice in theory, though. Has anyone made a purchase at Science Bio? They have Racetam at a fantastic price. Cool. Not me. Have you tried taking Sunifram before? I think I have, but I don't think I took it. I didn't take it by itself. I took it in a blend of a bunch of different things to fight stress, and it was good. I mean, I could tell it was working, but I wouldn't get it again. Mike, you will rise. Oh, nice. Okay, it's nice to hear, Fallon's Fox, because I was waiting for that. It's been a while. We will rise, not me. What's the EPA/DHA value in the fish oil you take? How much in a day? I apologize, I don't have it with me right now, but I'm taking, I mean, I aim to get 2 to 3 grams of total EPA/DHA. I don't think the ratio of it matters that much. You may hear that EPA is more important. You may hear that DHA is more important. It depends. It's different from person to person. Even with respect to depression, you'll read studies saying that DHA is more important than EPA less important. Overall, just aim to get a combined total amount as high as you can, pretty much. He's referring to a Clash of Clans, I believe. He wants a newt for playing games. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I don't play video games. I apologize. But for playing games, most people notice that stimulants actually decrease their performance. So be mindful of that. New peptide could be good, but I think Racetam and choline can actually help you out. Sorry, I would have translated if I knew. I like to be helpful. We all must work together. Synergy. Yes, being silly. I agreed. Has anyone tried Alpha Brain? Oh my gosh, I did a video on that. Alpha Brain is like, man, just get some like Bacopa and some L-tyrosine and you're good. Your brother brought it and you feel like he got ripped off. Is he enjoying it? You said you used to study 14 hours a day. Yeah, that was just my last few years at university. I was studying at University of Toronto, getting my business finance degree. And what I'm doing now is I'm selling residential real estate, and I also coach agents, particularly not only on communication skills, but a lot on mindset, since sales is pretty much 90% mindset over everything. Happy Tuesday, bro. Stay shining. Marshall's blends hair. Check out Marshall's page if you want to learn about hair. This guy is the hair guy. He knows everything, and I appreciate you with the Happy Tuesday wishes. I will stay shining. It's okay, says for some reason I can't feel Noopept. If you're taking the capsule form, could be why. Try the powder form. Try it under your tongue, and it's something that again, like me, it's okay. It took a while to notice the racetams and all this stuff, but not like the adaptogens. With the adaptogens, in most cases, you can notice them working instantly, whereas the racetams, it takes time. Again, you need an objective measure to this stuff. So try like 60 days and just look at your overall results with everything. Pay less attention to your actual state and how you feel after taking it, but just pay more attention to week by week, are the results improving? And I think that would help you out. Noopep just makes you feel like a robot, not good for creatives. Very cool. That, yeah, I'm glad you said that. But if anything, it's a good pick-me-up. So when you need to be like somewhat creative and you don't have the energy, then that is when Noopep can help you out. What would happen if you injected Noopep into your bloodstream? I am not qualified to answer that question. I apologize. I wonder if alpha GPC or CDP choline is better. Long term, I may be able to afford one, or should I take half CDP choline and half alpha GPC stack? Jason on Earth, in my opinion, alpha GPC is much better, but some may tell you otherwise. If you're somebody that exercises, then alpha GPC has better benefits across body composition. So your ability to like put out more reps, build muscle, lose fat, and so on. But the ideal way, and that's how it is in Qualia Mind, that famous nootropic product, which everybody loves, is they have both CDP choline and alpha GPC. LMAO, you add nootropics for playing video games. Yo, this is a known thing. I don't know where that someone is, but that competitive PUBG player, they were here doing that. What between Qualia and MindLab Pro, what do you recommend? Oh, that would be Qualia Mind without question. Sorry, Qualia Mind being Qualia Mind is a type of Qualia, so that is far better than MindLab Pro. MindLab Pro, almost like on a budget Qualia, because Qualia, it's like stacked. It's got over 25 ingredients, and the dosages are all dosages like the same stuff I would take. Like for example, Bacopa and Rhodiola, 300 milligrams per dose. They already have that there in the Qualia, so they pretty much thought everything out already for you. What I don't like about Qualia is I don't like that they didn't add ashwagandha. That's my only critique, and I don't like that they put caffeine in there, as I feel that people who are using that product, they're somewhat educated with nootropics and they can use caffeine to their own liking. Hey, Mike, what is your favorite less known nootropic that you can buy from ND? Green tea extract, if you haven't already gotten. I am taking capsule Noopep. Okay, yeah, cool. So try encapsulating it. Unfortunately, though, with the capsules, something to be mindful of. Just take out. Oh man, this isn't even a capsule. I can't even use an example. But with yeah, when it comes to like Noopep, the capsules are such that they're always going to contain a filler in there. So we don't know what that is, but look at the Noopep. If you uncapsulate it, it's more than 10 milligrams, even though the capsules may say that. So although you can put it under your tongue, it may not be as effective than just getting in the powder form. Can lion's mane and Noopep be stacked together? Yes, the answer is yes. I do that all the time. As a matter of fact, I did that at 7 o'clock today. Qualia Mind has a caffeine-free version as well, though. Anonymous, I believe that version doesn't have as many ingredients. I could be wrong. Trevor says, thoughts on creatine. I mentioned that, sorry, on theacrine. I mentioned it earlier. I don't want to be repetitive just in case anybody goes through this live stream later. Short answer is overhyped version of caffeine. Good as like a mental stimulant, but doesn't come with like the mood-boosting effect that caffeine does. And some of the other things like the overconfidence, the ability to be less logical, and turn on your more, right brain, you can say. Jose says, my first time trying nootropics, starting off with adrafinil. Your thoughts, question mark? Wow, you are brave to start off with something like adrafinil. Adrafinil, Jose, it's good. It's, you'll notice, well, firstly, I'm curious, did you just, have you already taken it? But my thoughts overall are that adrafinil is great for focus, great for going through work which you don't like. That's when I find that adrafinil is really good. If I have one day where I have to do 6 hours of work, which I just really don't enjoy, it's maybe data entry tasks, that's when adrafinil is good. It provides a nice mood boosting and this nice, like a mild mood boost, feeling somewhat stimulated, and you're able to concentrate for a longer period of time than you typically would. Yeah, Fallon's Fox says, yeah, when I first started measuring fast Racetam and Noopep, I noticed they had fillers in the capsules. Good on you for being you and noticing that. Adrafinil can tax the liver on if abused. Yeah, very true. Trevor says, thoughts on L-phenylalanine. You know what, since so many people were using it, I have a bottle of, or a tub of L-phenylalanine. I was using it last week. I like when I combine it with L-tyrosine and caffeine, but it's nothing like a game changer. If anything, it'll boost your mood a little bit. You won't notice anything in terms of, besides energy, and that you don't really notice a benefit in focus, benefit in memory, or anything that way that you would necessarily call it a game-changing nootropic. It's okay. Can taking tyrosine daily have any long-term side effects? Not that I know of. I think it's decent, and I've been taking it long-term for a very long period of time. Guys, we're almost at 30 likes. If you don't mind, just giving this thing a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. I'm using this live stream to grow my channel since I have no videos right now. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I have no videos. It's not true. I have lots of videos. I have over 100 videos, but I don't. Like, my best content, as all of you know, is pretty much here in 2020, and it's those videos which are not there. So I'm counting on all of your help. In my opinion, buying pre-made stacks is like using someone else's stack and may not work for you, and it's best to make your own stack. Tokera, that's a really good point. Just keep in mind, though, that for busy people, that's where these products appeal to the most. Like, if you take somebody, like, I know a lot of people in my industry, like selling homes, who like nootropics, but they would much rather go through and buy something like that versus go through the process of being educated. We're the small portion of people that like to understand the mechanism behind things, like to understand each ingredient. It's not necessarily for everyone, but I agree with you. Thoughts on D-phenylalanine? D-phenylalanine, yeah, same thing to what I said with phenylalanine. Alanine, I always say that wrong. Amino acids on their own can damage your insides. Glad you said that. Thoughts? Thank you for your answer. Do you know if there's anything good for memory loss related? If there's anything good for memory loss related to aging / Alzheimer's? Man, there's so many things. If you just go Kashikura to examine.com and you punch in that word memory, you'll likely find a lot of supplements, and what so is the majority of them are tested with people with Alzheimer's to begin with. So to start off with, guys, and we need one more like, please, so we can get this thing to 30 likes. I really appreciate it. Whoever has it, just go scroll down on your damn phone. It will be there, and I'm gonna keep bugging you until we get there. Nice, 30. I appreciate it. Okay, win. So with respect to the memory loss related to aging, Alzheimer's, Racetam, that's where Racetam actually got famous to begin with, and ginkgo biloba. Although ginkgo biloba is not going to do much for most people, that's where it shows some promise aging. Alzheimer's specifically, when it comes to aging, our alpha lipoic acid, which I've talked about before, alpha lipoic acid. I'm just going to put that in the comments there. Yeah, that's a really powerful supplement when it comes to memory loss related to aging. But besides that, have a healthy diet, like blueberries, antioxidants, all that good stuff. Some dark chocolate here and there. Trevor, thoughts on ginkgo biloba? Overrated. I don't think it's necessary for people. Like, most people on this channel are in their 20s or 30s and they're male. Sorry for the 15% of females that I've excluded from that little summary. But yeah, you'll likely not notice it working. Stefan says, what's happened to your videos? I don't know, Stefan. I'm just as curious as you are. YouTube is looking into it, and we shall see. Phosphatidylserine or L-serine. Phosphatidylserine is a great nootropic to take with other things because it can decrease your cortisol levels. A lot of people talk about ashwagandha for decreasing your cortisol levels, whereas phosphatidylserine, I feel like it's more effective. I don't know why it's not talked about more. Perhaps it's... Yeah, I'm not sure why. Again, I think it's in queliamine, so it's a good. I think that could be why in queliamine they had phosphatidylserine, but they didn't use ashwagandha because both of them seem to decrease cortisol levels, but phosphatidylserine maybe more effectively. What I noticed phosphatidylserine working was for all-nighters or for days when you're not sleeping much and you are like planning for an all-nighter. There's something to be said about using phosphatidylserine. Like, you'll find you can take it a couple times in the middle of the night and you just feel like all that sleep deprivation feeling and bad mood is almost like wiped out upon ingestion. I'm not exaggerating it. If you tried it, then you know what I mean. So it's pretty cool. Adrafinal studies, blah, blah. Like, please, thank you for that. What do you mean by that? Everybody's different. I wouldn't be too afraid. Whey protein is filled with most of them, including tyrosine. Yes, but the magic happens with tyrosine or even L-theanine when you're taking them in free form. So independent of any other or exclusive of any other amino acids, that's where they're really of good use. Like, the practical use of using L-tyrosine is, let's say when you need a pick-me-up at the end of the day when you're somewhat tired and you have another hour of work to do, but you don't want a coffee because it'll just keep you up. Use your L-tyrosine because you have that somewhat stimulated focus increase without having, without having any bad feel, pretty much. Thoughts on DHA? What do you think of using L-taurine to help with anxiety. Have you tried it? Yeah, taurine, I like it a lot, especially when I'm using caffeine and using things like vitamin B. It almost seems like it like prolongs the effects of vitamin B, if you know what I mean. If you have, then let me know about your experience, but that's a good reason why. You'll find in very popular energy drinks like Rockstar, taurine is often added as one of the ingredients. It could just be me, but let me know if you experience that too. Just like, again, the energetic feel you get from it. Like, honestly, it's just like prolonged, and you feel like, yeah, you feel like you're in a pretty damn good state. Thoughts on DHEA? Don't know too much about it though, but there's some good reports overall, so it looks pretty good. And wow, Sachin says I could see all your videos on YouTube. Oh my gosh, thank God. I don't know if that's true, but I appreciate you letting me know. And now we got to have a nootropics party, because if that is true, then boy, I am happy. And awesome stuff. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Have you tried Ficetine? No, I haven't. Tell me about it. And I'll let you know how these guys. I'm gonna let you know how these products go with respect to this little test booster that I'm giving a shot to. And make sure, guys, you're exercising. Like, I can't believe how many people come. I mean, I hope in all cases that people who come to my channel are already exercising, because if you're not, then exercising is just a game changer. Because what so is with there's benefits across hormone regulation, energy, mood. And yes, I know my videos are back. So be sure you're doing like some high intensity interval training. If anything, everybody has 10 minutes. You know, I confronted my fitness coach, because my fitness coach was like, listen, you don't have a gym. If you want to have a good physique, then go ahead and start doing more out, like put more time into your workout. And I'm just like, coach, I'm already working out 8 hours a week. And he says to me, his response is, I'm coaching billionaire entrepreneurs who can afford to put in another hour. And I'm like, damn, what the hell are my excuses, right? So I can't wait till the gym comes back. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys letting me know about that. And that's it, guys. We're going to wrap this up because it's 11:23 and I got to run. And I'm really enjoying connecting with all of you. I'd love to say, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, then we have Patreon. But we also have YouTube comments. So just message me, hit me up there, if anything, and I will get back to you. And I appreciate all of you guys. And I'll talk to you next time. Take care.